So I made it, just driving up. This is so crazy. And you always have this picture in your head of like what these centers look like outside, and they're, I don't know, maybe I'm just a major like homer or something like that. I don't know what the right way to put it is, but I had this vision that Riviera is just this massive establishment, right? Just like this cathedral to bowling. It's just a bowling center. It's literally just another bowling center. It's so funny how sometimes when you're here in person, life is just a little bit different. But to be honest, I'm a little bit overwhelmed. Just the fact that I'm about to walk through the doors and see legends, Hall of Famers, everything in a sport that I like so much, love so much. It's gonna be fucking nuts, but it's gonna be a lot of fun too. So I hope you guys like it. Let's do day one right. We're at the TOC, we're at Riviera, let's have some fun. Future Ben here. This video is sponsored by KR Strikeforce. They are doing a shoe giveaway that I have a link for in the description below, so be sure to check that out. I want to throw a big thank you and shout out to Matt and everybody at KR Strikeforce. And if you are in the market for any bowling accessory, go to your pro shop and ask them for KR Strikeforce stuff. They have to go through distributors. You can't get it necessarily straight through Strikeforce, but be sure to check that out. They make some really awesome bags and shoes and stuff like that, so be sure to check them out. KR Strikeforce. Thank you guys so much. Let's get back to it. Alright, so Dennis is the guy behind the camera for Brad and Kyle.
That's me.
Kyle's right there. He's bowling. We're going to leave him alone. He's killing it. What are you seeing back here, man? It looks good.
For whatever reason this week, that altered reality is what Kyle's throwing, and he just drilled it up new this week for this tournament after the practice session. And there are a lot of people throwing it out here, and it looks really good. This building plays really weird because when you're really in deep, it looks really, really, really good. So people like Prather, Belmo, Kyle, all those big wheel guys are having a lot of success, but they want a ball that's a little shined up, that's a little cleaner, but then it has to have that snap. So,
which is pretty rare out here. Typically, you don't want something that's super snappy, but
and we haven't seen as much urethane as we have in the last few weeks. So it's people are in there because the lanes are pretty fried up.
Yeah, they're pretty toasty already. I think there's like 2 or 3 guys maybe that are still throwing urethane on the right. Yeah, it doesn't really seem like it's in play at all. It's because Dick Allen, who is still striking out of his mind, he's just knuckle pucking something up there.
He is.
He's unconscious.
He is doing what Norm usually does, and he is making it look really easy.
And that makes no sense at all. Because he's way further right than everybody else.
He's gonna average over 250 for the block on a pattern where people are gonna average 175. So and everybody here is obviously a champion. Everybody's really good. So it's pretty crazy when you see someone bowling that well and some others not bowling as well.
All right, man. I just want to give the guy behind the camera some love, man. Thanks for doing what you do.
Appreciate it.
the chase and the hunt, and I set the pace when I'm running. I always take what I want and I always give it 100. Don't need a bank, no I'm funded. Play the game like it's nothing. I'm always thankful for something. Don't take for granted, stay humble. Now wake up! It's time to look at the enemy. Look in the mirror if he is no friend to me. It's not working out, maybe it's the chemistry. It's time to break up so I can make a better me. Better believe in your mind, cause it's everything. You can mold, shape, find almost anything. All it takes is some time and some clarity to find your identity. It's mind over everything. I'm immortal. When I feel like this, I'm immortal. When I feel like this, I'm immortal. When I feel like this, I'm immortal. Don't be scared. Step it up, don't be scared.
Typical house shot, huh?
It seemed like that for a little bit.
Dude,
so.
honestly, when you just kept striking and kept striking and kept striking, everyone that was on the concourse was like, what is he doing that's nobody else is doing? How do you kind of rationalize what you were able to do on the lanes?
Yeah, I mean, there's a lot of oil out there this week, and you know, the key for me was to make sure I didn't go around it.
Sure.
You know, I wanted to make sure I went through it.
Okay.
So that way, when my moves were, when I encountered friction, it was easier to make a move. I just find the head oil again and just go right through it again. Went pretty direct tonight.
I was gonna say, it didn't seem like you moved terribly far left, but you also didn't start terribly far right.
Yeah, I was probably a little further left than some guys that started, and then I definitely ended up further right than guys finished.
Right, right. And then in terms of friction, I know this house has its own characteristics. I think a lot of people know, but was it mostly up front that you saw it, or where were you kind of seeing where you were always transitioning?
Yeah, when the friction showed up, it shows up in the front and the middle, and it typically when there's this much oil, you know, the big move left is never good for me.
Have you? I mean, you've led a major at some point, I'm assuming.
No, I have not.
First time, huh?
Yeah.
First time that Dick Allen has led a major at any point.
Yeah.
How do you feel?
You know, honestly, I'm hurt.
Yeah.
My wrist is really tender.
Sure.
I've been hurt myself back in November or so, and I've been struggling quite a bit lately. My speed's down. My hand is really soft right now, and I'm just trying not to hurt myself when I bowl right now. Is the biggest thing, and now, honestly, it seems to be working out a little better than when I was always practicing. So
you got 36 left in you?
Oh yeah.
Well, 37.
Yeah.
37.
It'd be nice to get that 37th game in,
yes,
for sure.
For sure.
But 36, I mean, I got the gas for it. So we just got to make sure we keep doing what we're doing and make sure we get there.
Perfect. Great bowling, man.
Thank you.
I can feel the blood creeping up from the heathens. Got will, got fight, got pride, got reason. If they wanna go eat, then you know I'm gon' feed them. If you're coming for me, hope you're ready for a demon. I got eyes in the back of my head, I'm seeing. Take me for granted and you know I'm leaving. I'ma take what's mine with the webs I'm weaving. I could take this crowd from seeing to believing. Got a taste for blood and my tongue keeps bleeding from the words I spit. So sharp, so freezing, so cold.
I just had this like feeling in my gut that was just like I just didn't know what to do with, and I'm still kind of in the middle of that. But basically it's having that realization in the moment that you're just walking into the same building and mingling amongst some of the greatest bowlers that have ever walked the planet. And as somebody who bowls and has loved bowling for a long time, that sensation and that situation was really interesting to manage, because you know you kind of get into the groove of filming shots and stuff like that, but once you have a second to step back and just see what's happening, it's amazing. These guys made a pattern that was really, really hard look really, really easy, which is not surprising because they're the greatest in the world. But you can't take that for granted either. And to see what they could do physically during a time where these first 6 games were essentially trial games, I think, for a lot of these guys. They're really just seeing what transition is, so that during these next 12 games, they're going to be able to capitalize on knowing what happens. And I think Tuesday or Wednesday, day 2 is going to be pretty different in terms of the way that the lanes are played, just as they try to essentially outsmart their competition, outsmart the lanes, specifically the friction profile of Riviera, which seems pretty tough. Just the fact that they are able to see such small things and then use them or not use them depending on what they're trying to do is just ridiculous. And the way that some of their bowling balls would get through friction was amazing. One of the last shots, I'll go back and watch it, of Jason Belmonte when he's pretty far left and he's throwing his RST X2, you'll see it kind of hit mid lane friction, and then it just kind of like spins through it and it doesn't read it. It's like it just hits it and it just floats. And how he does that, I have no idea. And then of course, as soon as it gets through it and gets down to the end of the pattern, it just absolutely hammers the pocket. The way that they can manipulate what these bowling balls are doing is ridiculous. So I really hope you guys like this one. Try to keep it pretty straightforward. Now tomorrow is going to be pretty crazy. All I can say is it's going to be a pretty in-depth look into what a day is in the life of a guy on the PBA Tour that many of you know who he is, probably all of you, and I couldn't be more excited. I am so pumped up for what tomorrow's video is. So before you go, be sure to hit that subscribe button and the notification bell. I don't want you to miss out on what's coming tomorrow. So be sure to check that out. Check out that giveaway from KR Strikeforce 2. They're giving away a pair of shoes. So, and also just check out their website, see what they've got for all of the bowling accessories that they are able to get out into the world, because they're high quality stuff, guys. I'm telling you, I wouldn't do this partnership with KR Strikeforce if I didn't believe in what they're doing. They really try to maximize on what they can do internally here in the United States, in a market that's pretty saturated on overseas products. So be sure to check them out and be sure to sign up for that giveaway. But I think that's enough for this one. We'll get on to day number 2. But before we go, don't forget, your best life is a 10-pin life. See ya.